Hello everybody and welcome back to another My Porch Prints tutorials. Today we are going to be putting together this My First Mermaid journal, and I've already gone ahead and printed everything out and cut everything out. Everything is printed on cardstock except for the pages. Those are printed on regular paper, and we have a link down to what we use down in the description box below, so feel free to check that out if you're curious exactly what kind of paper we use. And I'm going to start with the cover here, so I've already gone ahead, cut that out. And we are going to be folding all of these little tabs in. So I went ahead and used a scoreboard to just score along those edges. You can just fold them, you don't have to score them. This just makes it a little bit easier. And we're also going to score along the edges of the spine, like so. And then we are going to fold all of these tabs in, just like this. And I like to use a bone folder to help crease all of those creases nice and smooth. Just helps them stick flatter when we're gluing things down. And I'm going to be using Fabri-Tac, which is a non-water-based glue, so it doesn't cause the paper to wrinkle. And then these tabs just kind of add a little bit of stability and help cover the whites of the edges of our cover. And folding along the spine like this. And your cover should be complete. Just like this. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and set this aside and start working on our pages. So for that, I've already printed these out, cut them, and I'm going to be folding them. So we're going to be folding them in half the long way first, and then we are going to be folding them in half again, and you can kind of see the difference between the papers. So just go ahead and try to match up your corners and fold them in half just like this. And again, I'm using a bone folder to just make sure that everything is creased nice and smooth. Alright, and we are going to be opening this back up and taking our Fabri-Tac or whatever glue you're using. We are going to add glue over the entire sheet. And then just fold it back up again. And this will keep your pages from coming apart. Just like this. And for this particular journal, we are going to have 4 signatures of 4 pages each, and they just stack together like this. So if you fold them so that the decorative images are on the outside, you'll see that they're kind of like decorative versus lined every other page. So it doesn't necessarily matter which way you fold them, but just kind of keep that in mind. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and fold the rest of these off camera. And now we can go ahead and start by sewing everything in. So you're going to need these pieces here. These 2 panels are for the inside cover, so we can wait on those for now, set those aside. And we're going to have this little hidden spine template, which has these lines here for these wings, as well as this template that has a line in the center. And we're going to be folding both of those. So this template you want to fold inward like this, and these tabs you want to fold both front and back so that they swing freely. And since we're going to be poking some holes in these, I'm going to grab a piece of chipboard that I have, just like a scrap piece, so I don't accidentally poke a hole through the table, as well as this bookbinding kit, which we will also have linked down below. There's a link to like all of our supplies, and this is on that list. So in this kit comes this awl for poking holes. You can use a needle or anything sharp that you have on hand. This just makes it a little easier. As well as this needle, you can choose any size that you want. I just picked one. And then it also comes with different colored wax thread. It only has 3 colors, so I'm going to go ahead and use this one here. And the wax just helps the thread be a little easier to use. Alright, so now that we have all of these pieces, we're going to go ahead and poke out the holes. And they are already marked on the templates that come with the kit, so you just go ahead and follow the guide here and poke each of these holes out just like this. Right along the crease, just like that. And this is going to be a template that we use to help poke holes in our pages. And then this is our hidden spine that will actually go in the book. So again, just poking out each of these little dark holes that are marked here for our 4 different signatures. Alright, and I'm also going to be using some of these bulldog clips. It's entirely optional, but it does help hold things in place, so I would recommend getting something to hold your template in. And then I'm going to be grabbing my 4 pages for my signature and go ahead and stack them together, just one inside the other like so. And then I'm just going to kind of shuffle them, make sure that they are all even here. And our little template is going to clip right in the spine here using the bulldog clips. So you just line up the crease of this little template with the crease of your signature like so, lining up the top and bottom to the best of your ability. And then using those clips, we're going to hold that template in place so it doesn't move around. All right, and taking that chipboard again, I'm going to put that underneath here just in case. And I'm going to use my awl to poke out the holes using our template that we marked earlier. And that's going to poke right through our signature, make it easy for sewing so that nothing moves and everything's nice and even. All right, so now making sure that all of our pages are right side up one last time, something I sometimes forget to do. We're going to remove this template. It's very important that you don't sew the template into your signature, otherwise you'll have to cut your sewing and redo it. So make sure that you pull that out. But I'm gonna leave the bulldog clips to make sure that the pages don't move around. And now we can go ahead and sew. So finding our first set of signature holes, it doesn't matter which way it's oriented, but just starting with the first set, we are going to do a pamphlet stitch today, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that in case you don't know. So taking our thread, I'm going to measure it 1, 2, 3 times the length of my book, and I find that that always gives me enough thread to work with. So go ahead and cut that off. And when you are threading your needle, you're going to want just one small tail and one longer tail. So don't pull it even. You want like this shorter piece here and then this longer piece here. And then we are going to start by sewing through the back of our signature because that'll hide the knot. So we're going to put that in the back of our little hidden spine here. And then through the back of our signature in the center hole. Just like this. And it might be a little finicky if your holes aren't big enough, so just kind of wiggle and work with it. And when pulling it through, you want to leave a tail on the back. About this much is good for tying it off later, and you don't want to pull this through, otherwise you will have to start over. So make sure that you don't accidentally pull that tail through while sewing. And then we're going to go through the top hole here, just like so, and then the top hole of our hidden spine template. Again, sticking with that first set of holes here. Don't accidentally put it through like any of the other ones. All right, and then pulling that through. And from here, I'm just going to give it a little tug to make sure it's taut. We still have that tail sticking out of the back. And now we're going to go through the bottom. All right, so sewing through this bottom hole here and through the booklet. Now, if you have kids that are sewing this, you may want to do this part for them and just let them kind of do the decorating part if they're a bit younger. So just something to keep in mind. This can be a little bit tricky for a child to do, especially handling needles and things like that. So yeah, maybe sew this for them. All right, so to finish it up, we're going to go through that center hole one more time, just like so. Sorry, I think I'm funny. All right, pulling the needle out. Now we have these 2 tails here, so I'm going to just give them a tug, and that is going to tighten our stitch so that it's nice and taut here and holds the pages in to the hidden spine. And it's very important to remember that you have either string on the side of this like center stitch here, because if you don't do that, the knot will actually pull through the hole. So that helps prevent the knot from sliding through. So you want to pull those on either side of that string and tie them over the top of it. Very important step, just like this. And I like to tie it a couple of times since you can't see the knot anyway, and it's better that it doesn't slip. So 2 or 3 times is good. And then I am going to cut these so they're not too long, but leave enough that they don't come untied. All right, and now for the satisfying part of this, we're going to remove these bulldog clips here. And your pages should be sewn into your hidden spine, just like this. All right, and they should flip easily. You might want to give it a little bit of a squeeze to make sure that the pages sort of, settle nicely. All right, And now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with all of these other signatures. It's the exact same process. You get your pages, go ahead and set them into each other like so, just nestled in there, straighten them out. Use your hidden spine template piece here and cut all your holes and sew it in just like we did before, going along each of these set signature templates. All right, and when it's done, it should look something like this. And with the hidden spine, all of these little sewed edges are going to be hidden from the outside cover. So that's why we like using the hidden spine here. And all of your pages should be nice and settled. So now we can go ahead and sew or glue it in, to our cover. So I'm going to be taking that Fabri-Tac on these little wings here, adding a good amount of glue. And we're going to glue this into our front cover, just lining up the lines of our hidden spine with the spine of our cover like this. And also check the top and bottom of your book to make sure that none is, it's not sticking out of the top or bottom. Pressing those wings down onto the front and back cover. Just like this, see? This part's sticking out here, so I'm going to push it up a little bit before the glue dries. Just like that. And now we're going to set this aside to dry for a little while. And once it's dry, we can go ahead and glue in these front and back covers to hide the inside cover that's undecorated here. So I'm going to just take a corner rounding punch. This is totally optional, just make it look a little bit more finished here. And round off the corners of those panels, and then adding the glue to the front panel, pressing that down like this. And then again with the back panel, same thing. And now that that is done, we can go ahead and begin decorating. So I'm going to go ahead and just start with the cover piece here, which has this little butterfly in the kit. And there were some instructions with it in case you were curious. It's real simple. I'm going to show you. You just fold the butterfly in half. And you could print something on the back of this paper if you want the butterfly wings not to be white. That's entirely optional. I just went ahead and left it as was. And adding some glue to the sort of crease of the butterfly, we're just going to glue it down to the front cover like this, very carefully. And that's going to add a little bit of dimension to our butterfly, making it kind of 3D looking. It's sort of pretty. And setting that aside to dry, we're going to go ahead and do this folio piece that goes into our book. So I'm just going to be folding all of these panels in again, just like so. And it's up to you which panels you want showing. I decided to have the longer ones on the inside and the wider ones on the outside. You could do it the other way if you want to, like this, but I went ahead and did it this way. All right, and it also comes with these paper buttons. So using a 1-inch hole punch, I'm going to punch those out just like this. And it's very faint, but there is a small dot in the center of these buttons, and that is a sort of marking to show you where to punch a hole. So using a micro hole punch, I'm just going to punch that out real fast. And then I'm going to use a pencil to mark inside those holes on the flaps of the folio like this. And that's going to show us where we need to punch a hole out for each of these. And that is how we're going to secure the buttons on using a brad. I'm just going to go through the button and then through the flap like this. If you don't have a brad, you could use like a piece of puff tape or something to stick the button down. It's entirely up to you, but this way they just have a little bit of dimension, and that's going to allow us to wrap some string around it to close it, which I'll show in a second. So I decided to go ahead and put mine on the back cover, just like this. You could put it on the front cover or even on one of the pages potentially, but I'm just going to go ahead and put it in the back for ease today. So adding glue to the back of the folio panel, we're just going to glue that down like this. And then using any string of your choice, I just had some extra thread lying around, you're going to wrap it around the buttons, and that is going to secure it closed. Just like that. All right, so now we can go ahead and start with the decorating. So I'm going to begin with the pockets. So I'm going to take this decorative one here and use this in the front cover. So it's just going to go in the corner just like that. And then going in with that glue, we're just going to put it along the sides and the bottom, leaving the top open. And the closer you can get to the edges, the more space you'll have in your pocket. So just something to remember. And just going to glue that down like this. And then we have all of these plain pockets here. I think there's like 5 or 6 of them here. And I'm going to go ahead and put these in. If you want more pockets, you can print this page out again and cut out more. That's entirely up to you. I'm just going to go ahead and stick with what I have here. And again, we are just adding glue to the sides and the bottom, sticking as close to the edges as we can. And then I'm going to be gluing this down onto the blank pages. You can put them on any pages you want, but for today, I'm going to use them on the blank pages. And if any of the edge is sticking out, you can cut that off. Mine seem to fit just fine, so that's up to you. And then for decorating, I grabbed some of the journal words and some of the fussy cuts and added a bit of puff tape to them. If you have, again, kids that are decorating this, you could just print these on sticker paper. We do have a tutorial for how to use sticker paper and a Cricut if you are interested in that. And that'll kind of make it easier for kids to decorate. But if you want to add a little bit of dimension, some puff tape is optional, but it's kind of a fun way to give a 3D effect to the pockets. All right, now for the rest of the decorating here, I've already gone ahead and sorted things out into like the ephemera pieces, the tags, and the fussy cuts. And I'm just going to go ahead and decorate the rest of this journal. This is optional. You can skip to the end if you want, but if you're looking for some ideas on how to decorate, you can go ahead and sort of just see what I did. I ended up using some puff tape as well as some cheesecloth to decorate. And those don't come with the kit. They're completely optional. You can use anything you have, but I just went ahead and used a little bit to add some texture to the journal for fun. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the rest of this to play out for you to watch, and I will see you again at the end of the tutorial. Alright, so now that the decorating is done, I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick flip through here and show you sort of what everything looks like when it's all complete, so you can kind of get an idea of the full journal and how it comes together in case you're maybe just watching this in case you might want to get it. If you are interested in purchasing this kit, we do have a link down in the description box to our Etsy shop where you can find this kit as well as all of our other kits that are available. There is also a pirate journal, which I will be showing at the end of this, that sort of like is the accompanying journal to this. It's the My First Pirate Journal, and I am going to have a tutorial out for that very soon. It's extremely similar to this tutorial, just slightly different art and like a couple of different pieces that go with it. So if you are interested in having that kit, we will also have that linked down below as well. So yeah, just kind of a cute, fun little kit. It's very whimsical, something really pretty, something that might be fun to do with younger children or just to have for yourself. Maybe if you have like a shelf of smaller junk journals, this kind of goes nicely in there. It's got lots of pretty ephemera pieces. It would also make a good gift for somebody who likes journaling and would like some of these ephemera pieces to use in some of their own journals. So, like if you wanted to, you could save all of the fussy cuts, and instead of using them to decorate, you could put them all in the folio at the back. That's totally optional as a gift. Or if you have, like, again, young kids maybe that are getting this journal, you could add like little plastic gems or something to that folio in the back. That might make a cute little present. So any ideas you come up with, we'd love to hear about them in the comments. You could also share them in our Facebook group that we have where everybody kind of shows off what they're making. And yeah, we love to see what you guys would do with this. Alright, so that is going to finish today's tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some inspiration and had some fun. And don't forget, if you are interested, we do have that pirate journal, so here's a little sneak peek of that if you are interested in that. So I will see you in our next tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!